Hello, it's Amy Lee, the Productive Mama, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about silicone bakeware. So I actually used to sell a line of very nice, not cheap silicone bakeware, Demarl at Home, different name, they have a different name now. So I'm pretty familiar with cooking with silicone. And there's some things that are awesome about it and some things you really need to be aware of. They had things like bread pans, bread just comes right out of that, fancy different cake forms, different shapes rather. This is the sunflower mold. Your just kind of traditional, everybody can use muffin pans, great for like egg muffins. And then they had, I don't know how well you can see this, all kinds of fun shapes. So, you know, you could make a muffin but in a nice butterfly shape. And then what most people are somewhat familiar with, is the Silpat. Okay. So a lot of people know about the Silpat even if they don't know about the other forms. So what's really nice about these is that items do brown on them. So one of the things you might find when you bake with silicone is that your items might not brown because silicone doesn't retain heat. But Silpats are like a super thin layer of silicone on top of, what is this called? Glass, basically. And so that helps retain a little bit more heat to brown while still having all the great properties of the nonstick of silicone. Okay. But what today I'd like to focus a little more on is the Epicure Steamer. Okay, so Epicure really promotes this as a way to take a meal from raw to ready in 20 minutes or less, usually by cooking in the microwave. I might do that when I travel. I've had to do some hotel stays where I need to cook, and I've done that. I've also made, what have I made? Like an apple cobbler and done some fruit in here, but I usually don't use this in the microwave. I use it a lot in the oven. I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so most of the raw to ready meals are going to be like a vegetable and a grain in here. They also promote it for cooking bacon, popcorn, things like that. But I still use this even though I don't always use it in the microwave and rarely use it in the microwave. So what's great about this steamer is also great about most silicone cookware. So the first thing is that it is very light. So that might not seem like a big deal, but I love stoneware too, but it is super heavy. If somebody is older, if somebody has mobility issues or issues with their wrists and arms, some of that stoneware can be just too much for them. So it's really light. I love that about this. Also makes it great for travel. While it's very light, that also means it is very floppy. Okay, so this can be a con. So you can see, you know, it's super flexible, but also floppy. So when you take it out, especially if you have a microwave that's kind of up high, but if you take it out of any oven, if you're not careful, buckle a little bit, and then the lid comes off and the steam can be very hot in there. So do be careful whenever you use your steamer. And any silicone, even though it doesn't retain heat, when it's in a 350-degree oven, it's still going to be hot. So definitely take care. Now what I always suggest is, these are the perforated baking sheets that Demarl sold, but you can use any baking sheet. This one just kind of lets the airflow evenly for a Silpat mat. Use something stable underneath it in the oven, maybe even in the microwave, but not metal. Okay, so it's very light. I love that, but it's also big enough to cook a family-size meal. If you have a very big family, you're probably not going to be making your vegetables and meat in here, but you could probably make all of your meat or all of your vegetables in here for sure. It's a good size for that. The thing I love most about silicone, it's so easy to clean. Now, if you're baking, you can definitely still coat this with oil or use whatever your favorite nonstick method is, but I don't really ever do that. So making bread in here, lasagna, things that I used to avoid sometimes because the mess was so much, or even with the muffins, if you make like a breakfast cake in here, it's going to be super easy to clean. anything that's stuck, I give it a short soak is all that's usually needed to get it clean. So I love that about silicone. The other thing I like is that you can put this in the freezer, then you can take it to the oven, then you can put it in the dishwasher. Really easy to go between those extreme temperatures and use in all your different appliances. And I'll show you a little more about that later. Okay. Yeah, so let's actually show you 2 different ways that you might not have thought of to use your silicone steamer and silicone in general. But wait, there's more. The steamer can fit in my toaster oven. So this is perfect for, especially for the summer when I don't want to heat up the whole kitchen. So for making bread in the summer when I don't like turning the oven on, or anything else. When you want to use a toaster oven, the steamer is the perfect size. So there you go. One way to use your steamer is you can heat up your tortillas. This is something I never do, but my family really prefers warm tortillas. This is probably your standard 8-inch tortilla size, and it fits perfectly. So I would suggest that you would put in however many tortillas you need, and put it in the microwave for, maybe start with 30 seconds. Everybody's got to test their own microwave out. And then you can just take this right to the table to serve your tortillas warm. Another way to use silicone I want to share with you is something that I used to do with one of my DeMarle forms, and I used to use it as a crock pot liner. Okay, so that's one thing you can do is line a crock pot, and then we would make our mac and cheese in here. I would make oatmeal sometimes, and it leaves no mess in the crock pot rather, so it's really easy to clean rather than using one of the plastic liner bags or something like that. Okay, but you can also, so you can use, and again, if you look at my crock pot, I have one of the oblong bigger crock pots. You can put this in here as a liner, so then make your lasagna if you have a slow cooker lasagna. You could cook potatoes in there, you could do your breakfast grains, or whatever you wanted to do in there as a liner. But what you can also do is cook with the pot-in-pot method. So if you have an Instant Pot, you might do this, you might already do this in your crock pot. And that is, you're going to put water at the base of your cooker. And then this doesn't need any sort of rack, but if you had like a stainless steel bowl, you can do it with that too. You would put a rack in, but I don't have to do it with this. You would put it in. And this is a great way. Grains turn out perfectly. I do steel cut oats this way, and it sort of steams it. And you're sure that it's not going to burn. It's especially not going to burn the pot. It's going to be super easy to clean. So that's 2 extra ways that you might not know about to use silicone to make your life easier and more productive. Feel free to comment if you have any questions or contact me. And I'm happy to talk silicone with you. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great one.